Hey everybody, it's Alex. Hope you're having a good Monday, because it is Monday and it's January 8th. Yes, I'm pretty sure. I only just wrote it in my logbook while I was standardizing my gauge, that's all. I had a pretty good weekend. For all that I did crane. Oh, so I did do crane. So I know what crane is now. It is not nearly as exciting as the lead up would have had you think, because I mean, basically, I got up at the ass crack of dawn on Saturday, drove downtown to because basically, I guess when they have those huge cranes that they use for constructing high rises, those are, semi-permanent installations. It's not like they can just bring in a rig with a crane on it. So they actually have to put a foundation down and build the crane there. And so I was testing for the crane foundation. And I think maybe there was a crane there before. It was kind of weird because it's like they excavated this pit down and it was 15 feet down. And there were already these pillars of concrete with some rebar sticking out of the pit. And at the direction of the guy inside, I just did one test right in the middle of that, and then I went home. So that was a lot of excitement for a whole lot of not doing much. But other than that, my weekend was pretty cool, so hopefully yours was as good as mine. I got to play D&D on Saturday at least a little bit. Most of the time my character was studying for finals, which is so sad when that's happening to your character, but what can you do? But everyone else had a lot of fun, and I ate dip and finished reading Phasma by Delilah S. Dawson, which, if you like Star Wars novels at all, it is very good. It's an interesting character study of Phasma, and she is quite villainous, unapologetically so. So I recommend, if you're at all interested in expanding your, new Star Wars canon knowledge. And I started reading Hamilton's Battalion, which is a set of romance novelettes or novellas by, I just know Courtney Milan's got one in there that I'm super excited about, and I think reading over the descriptions of them, there's one straight romance, and I think the other two might be queer, but I'm not sure. So the first one was fun, and it's all Revolutionary War and kind of related to Alexander Hamilton, which is fun. I mean, he's not any of the characters getting romanced in it, but it's kind of peripherally connected. So that's kind of a fun historical romance thing. So I'll let you know when I finish that. Oh, and I also finished reading The Changeling, if I didn't rant about that enough, because holy fucking shit, that book. So The Changeling by Victor Laval, you should read it. I don't know, it's way more intense than The Ballad of Black Tom. And I mean, basically the last 220 pages I pretty much read in one sitting, because I couldn't fucking stop reading it, because every time I thought I might get to a stopping point, then he was oh, and here's another horrible revelation, oh shit. And there's really interesting stuff in there with fairy tale construction and what the stories actually mean and why you tell stories, and just a lot of really good stuff. So I definitely recommend that. So book recommendation Monday, let's make it a thing. And then my one personal for the is I have my beloved thermos that you have seen me drink out of, and it's some kind of, I don't actually know what brand it is, because I bought it at H Mart, so it's some Chinese brand that's been super good. It's served me well for the year and 2 months that I've owned it, 2.5 months, whatever. And when I clean it, you have to take it all apart, and there's just this little silicone gasket, and apparently it managed to stick to the bottom of a frying pan that then got put on the stove. So my gasket got cooked, and I can't use my thermos anymore. So instead I have a travel mug, which I've been calling my Copper Dragon travel mug. Woo. But I'm hoping I can figure out what brand this gasket is, because buying a new gasket, if I can find one, is way cheaper than buying a new nice 1 liter thermos. So wish me luck on that. I just got to go to H Mart and see if I can, if they're still selling the Thermos, and then if I can figure out what brand it is, because I can't read all of the Chinese characters, but hopefully they've got it in English, and like the brand name has worn off of it because I've used this thing so much. So, you know, wish me luck on my gasket search, because Thermos gaskets are very, very non-standard. I was doing some Googling last night, and there's a wide array of things that are just not gonna work. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? So, like, Golden Globes were yesterday, and there's, like, a whole, like, lot of stuff that, you know, I'm not that into the Golden Globes. People were wearing black, and there were some men wearing black that you're like, oh, really? And some other shit going on. I really like that I think it was Natalie Portman mentioned, gee whiz, hey, look, we've got all these 4 nominees for Best Director, and they're all men. Isn't that, you know, why aren't there any women? Which is, you know, I'm glad that people are being a little more firm about this. I'm also would like to ask, why the fuck yet again, like, you know, ever since the nomination list came out, I was just like, but just an extra final, why the fuck would you nominate Get Out as Best Comedy? And then, of course, Get Out got robbed in every possible way, so, like... But, so the other thing was, Oprah got a Lifetime Achievement Award, which is super cool, and she gave a really amazing speech, which, I'll find, like, a video of it and link it, because it is a really, really fucking good speech. And, you know, I was, like, basically standing up and applauding when I finally got to hear it, because I didn't watch the Golden Globes. Last night I watched the original Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which is really adorable, and Danny Kaye is amazing. But anyway, but so this is the thing, like, as soon as Oprah's speech finished, you know, because I was kind of keeping an eye on Twitter, because then I was like playing some Destiny or something, and searching for alkane spores forever. But as soon as her speech finished, I started seeing people like Chuck Wendig said something about, like, this was when Oprah, this is the moment when Oprah truly became president. I was like, oh, haha, you know, like, that's kind of funny. Like, you know, I can see that as a joke to make, because this was a really, really good speech. But then I have seen people talking, like, seriously about wanting Oprah to be president. And, apparently, like, someone asked, and her, I don't know if it was her publicist or her partner or whatever, oh God, I'm sorry, I'm unprepared on that. I will find it and correct myself. But was basically like, oh, well, it's up to the people. And I'm just like, no, please fucking no. I mean, you know, we've had we're currently in the midst of our one president who has had absolutely no public service, no time as a public servant in office, and it's a fucking disaster. And, like, please just, for the love of God, in 2018, can we please just stop being like, oh, this celebrity said things I like, they should be president. No, they fucking shouldn't. Just no. Like, Oprah is really good in certain ways. I have opinions about her promotion of science denialists and quacks. But, you know, on, like, justice issues and things like that, she says really good shit. That does not fucking mean that she should be in charge of our fucking nuclear arsenal or anything. Like, that doesn't, just because somebody says stuff that you like and you like them and think they're a good person does not mean they should be fucking president of the United States. Like, I know that there is a lot of desperation and people are grasping for anyone that seems better than Trump, and at this point, like, my Copper Dragon travel mug would be a better president than Trump, because it wouldn't, you know, start a nuclear war with North Korea. But that doesn't mean that just, like, anyone with absolutely no government experience would make a decent president or even a shitty president. I mean, just come the fuck on, guys. Like, dial it back. And, you know, if you want, like great candidates that you could look at for women presidents, there are plenty of women in office right fucking now. But then, of course, you know, it's like, oh, well, they're overprepared or they're being opportunistic or whatever. Like, no matter what, the misogynistic assholes are gonna say shit like that. And you know, if you look at women politicians and think that there's an issue with them just because they're women in politics, you need to take a really good look at yourself. But I really need everyone to let go of the notion that what government needs are more people who don't fucking know how to run a government. Like, can we just let that one go? You know, career politician, I realize that has become a dirty word, and in many ways you've allowed yourself to be manipulated by the Republicans and Fox News. But, you know, the whole like, oh, career politicians are bad and you need someone to go in there to drain the swamp. Does that sound familiar? So can you please stop? And, you know, I also, before anyone, like, okay, so Trump has been our only president who's had like zero experience. I mean, Ronald Reagan was a shitty president and I really loathe him for a lot of reasons, especially as a queer person. But, you know, do recall that he did actually have public, like, experience as a public servant before he got elected president. Despite, you know, he was also an actor, but he did, like, you know, he was a governor of California. I'm not making judgments on how much he sucked, even though I hear he sucked a lot, but that's not a discussion I want to get into right now. The point is, he actually had done something in politics before he became president. So, you know, so it's like, someone can be a bad enough president when they already have experience and know what they're doing. So can we just, like, not decide that the best way to fix Trump is by like, well, we need someone who has as little experience as Trump but is liberal? Like, no. And, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with celebrities wanting to engage in public service. That, you know, that's something that everyone has an interest in. And I think it's great that more people want to be civically engaged. And that's, you know, but for God's sake, start out on a, you know, do city council, be on your board of education, be a state rep, hell, fucking run for Senate, like, you know, Al Franken, other problems, etc. But just fucking run for Senate and do that, you know, because if nothing else, you get experience in government, and the amount of damage a single senator or congressperson can do is extremely limited compared to what a fucking president can do, just how they can fuck things up just because they don't know what they're doing. You know, they don't even have, you know, I'm not implying that Oprah is a terrible person who would have malicious intent like the piece of shit that's currently in the White House. But there is something to be said for, like, having experience in government. And I need everyone to just, like, think about this for 3 seconds before, you know, the next, oh, The Rock might want to run. Wow. Well, I mean, The Rock is also Republican, so. But, you know, oh, Oprah might want to run. Oprah will save us. No! Like, just, can we have a president who actually understands completely what being president entails and has, like, statesmanship experience? Please? So, those are my thoughts on that. And, please don't argue with me about Ronald Reagan, because I'm really not interested in it, about it. And, if you're reading any good books, I guess let me know, or if you have any questions, ask them, or whatever, but, hopefully you're staying warm and having a good Monday, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!